This is a solar return reading for Jane. Jane, thank you so much for your interest in this reading. I'm so excited to go over the potentials and energies influencing your trip around the sun for this year, this cycle. So happy solar return to you. I hope that you had a great day celebrating another year. And this sheet that I have up is just a quick overview of some of the energies going on. So, this is what the year is suggesting that the energies that you're going to embody and encounter. And this is different. This is significant because your natal chart or your blueprint really is always going to be the same. Your natal chart is who you are, but the solar return chart for this year has moved some of the energies in you. It's giving you opportunities to experience different things, to grow in different ways. And it looks like for you, that mutable energy that was really prominent in your natal chart, the dominant energy, you had a lot of mutable go with the flow, trying to experience as many different things as you can, really being open to new ideas, being able to pivot your own thoughts to newer ones or take suggestions. Well, now your dominant energy is fixed. So that's a big shift. That's a big mental shift. And I see this year being one that you are more purposeful and driven, more reluctant to change your own ideas, more reluctant to be open to suggestions from other people, more on a purposeful course of action that you have already maybe visualized or had in your mind. This is the year that you really want to be on track with that. So it's doing. And I say that because you have the fixed energy of really focus, of intention, but also you have so much energy in these concentrated areas. So when I see all the energy from the eighth to the ninth house, planet after planet, luminaries included, it makes me feel like this is a very focused chart. There's a purpose here. There's an intention. There's a goal that is trying to be achieved this year. This isn't so much of exploring options as it is getting to work and making progress. So for you, this is a year of making gains towards something that you have decided you wanted. And the fixed energy is a gift for this because it really helps you stay the course and achieve longer term ambitions, where mutable energy is really great at getting the ideas and becoming excitable about it. Sometimes the finishing power falls off, but the fixed energy has this tenacity to really reach end goals. So we see that the cardinal and the mutable energy are tied at six, and it's giving the fixed energy a chance to really take the lead. So by taking the lead, we see right off the bat the Leo ascendant, where natally you have the Gemini ascendant. This year, you have the Leo ascendant. So you have the confidence, the internal inspiration. It's a fire sign. So people that have the fire rising sign really have a lot of intuition and a lot of belief that they just know what they're supposed to be doing. And this like drive, this inspiration comes with this warmth of this is the right thing. So if you're a Leo rising this year, it's saying that in all opportunities, in every house, then it's being impacted by the Leo rising. It sets the course for your perceptions, how you interpret new information, and then how you're perceived by other people in all settings too. So this is going to give you this warmth, this drive, this energetic approach to living this year, where the Gemini rising person is always collecting data. They're always like doing the scientific method. They're collecting information, they're testing it, they're ready to let go of one belief to move to another. They're forever analyzing. Sometimes they're limited in ability to act because they're so mentally driven on the organization and analyzing of information that they're not actively engaging in things so much as they are computing information internally. And this Leo year is saying, well, now you have this action oriented, this ego that needs to be seen and it needs to intermingle with life. It needs to feel the joy of living and it really needs to express its own creativity. It really wants to leave a mark everywhere it goes. The the fire energy is one that lights up the room and it's for good or for bad, it's memorable. So you might find that you just have a bigger presence this year. The the sun is the ruler of Leo. So you're going to be giving this big, bright, look at me energy in all of your interactions. So you might feel at first that, I don't know that I'm comfortable with a lot of attention. Your sun has moved to the eighth house. That's not really a look at me energy, but the sun ruled Leo ascendant is going to be that you have something that people need to experience and you need to experience through them. So it's a get out there and do it kind of year for you. And with the Leo, it's really being in the driver's seat of that you're the recipient of the attention of the of getting what you need and feeling that like your own ego and your own pride is happy and fulfilled. So it's more of a like a self-centered and self-motivated kind of year. We're not waiting for what other people think. We're not trying to weigh a lot of options. We're not really thinking through end results. We're just doing, we're going. It feels good. I think I am good at this. I need people to see how great I am. I really want people to see the effect that I have on them. I want people to feel like they really saw me, that I really expressed myself in this authenticity. And the Leo rising challenge is always to be authentic, even if they don't get the applause for it. Be on stage, do your performance, even if people don't give you a standing ovation or scream for an encore. The Leo energy is, am I brave enough to do it anyway? Am I willing to get out there and really show people who I am and really do my performance in my art? Am I really going to express myself truly? And you need people to see it. Leo needs an audience. So this is a year of being out there, putting yourself out there and letting people see you who you really are. And that you will really benefit and feel really great about yourself when you do get the applause, but that you're willing to risk it, that you're willing to take that chance. And then you do get the applause most likely because Leo is the star. They're the performers. They're the ones that we need that energy. We want to be uplifted by their magnetism. They have something that is very entertaining and it makes us feel that warmth that they're feeling too. So it's really a positive energy. So let's go back to the sun in the eighth house with all of the other gifts that are here. You have your vitality is your sun. This is our ego. This is where the light is shining on the year. So in the eighth house, we have this spiritual house. This is our life cycles, birth, death, how we feel about that, how we handle these deep emotional beginnings and ends in life. Also, where we find somebody who we're so close to now that we can inherit gifts from them, or together we share what we have with each other. And now it's not just me, it's us. And what we can do together. This is the house of inheritance, coming into gifts left from people who have passed on, or this is the energy of joining forces with someone, moving in together, beginning a life with someone else, and now their resources are your resources too. Seeing people with the eighth house sun do that, maybe newlyweds or just wanting to take the next step and now having this new level of intimacy and devotion to each other. Where the seventh house is our partnerships, we team up, we decide that we are the ones that we want in our life. Well, the eighth house is the next step of that. Well, what comes with that? Actual intimacy of merging lives, merging souls, even if it's not physically moving in together. Sometimes it's taking the next step to get to know someone even deeper than you thought you did. Taking a relationship to the level of soulmate intimacy. You might have this desire this year to really get to know those people that you consider close to you even deeper. You want to know the psychological depth of the people in your life. Well, what do we spend our time doing? How do we talk to each other? What are we hoping for in this relationship? What is this union doing for us? And are we on the same page about that? Am I getting my intimacy fulfilled the way I need it to be? A Pisces sun could give the most unconditional love on a spiritual level. And in the eighth house, the sun is saying, maybe that is what I need. I can't just be swimming on the surface here. I need to dive deeper with people. My soul needs to be fed, and I need to do it through connections where there the energy is mutual, that we want to keep exploring the depths of each other. The eighth house could also mean that you are more spiritually interested in the life and death cycles of spirituality. What are we doing here? Where are we moving to after this? Your eighth house moves into the ninth house, so I could see this being a very um, interesting, like spiritual, um, philosophical questioning here for you. Maybe this is the year that you really get into spirituality and faith based beliefs, that you're trying to tie both of these together. Where are my spiritual beliefs? What do I think happens when we pass on from this earth? Is that really aligned with my philosophy? Do I live by the values that I believe to be true on what's going to happen after this? These are like deep questions. And you might find that you want to learn more, right? The ninth house is all about higher education. What are we doing here? Let's ask the big questions. Why am I here? Where am I going after this? What do you think? And trying to pursue those. This is somebody who might find themselves on spiritual retreats, actually traveling to different places to get the answers that make sense to them. The sun in the eighth house needs their soul to agree with what's going on. So maybe there is this restlessness of feeling like you need more. You need to learn more about your spiritual side. With the Leo rising and the sun in the eighth house, I could feel this being an energy where maybe you have some type of spiritual gift that you want to grow on, or maybe you've been studying it for a long time, and now is the year that you really want to put into action publishing something that you know spiritually to be true, that you already have lived a life that gained a lot of wisdom. And now the Leo rising is saying, hey, look what you bring to the spiritual community. Are you sharing your gifts with others enough who don't know what you know yet or can't do what you do? Are you willing to share your gift? Are you willing to show people who you really are in this spiritual community? And is there an opportunity for you to be some type of publisher, speaker, coach, guidance for people who might also be searching? Maybe you have already spent a long time searching for your spiritual truth and philosophical practices. Maybe you even identify with a certain religion or belief system that you've spent time learning the traditions to, and now you're ready to teach on those or speak on those, guide others on the path. You have the courage this year with the Leo rising to do that. You have the spiritual truth with the sun in the eighth house. And you have the ability to reach a lot of people with your message with the energy in the ninth house. So these are all potentials when we have our solar return. It's not saying that this is absolutely what's going to happen, but this is the season to lean into these type of energies. The deepness here of what you're doing, it's nothing superficial this year. You're not super concerned about money, not about getting to know just like your personality, like you're already who you are. Your career or your money situation um, might not be something that's getting a lot of energy. There are a couple of things we'll talk about, but the bulk of your energy this year is really guided toward spiritual truth and reaching out to the people or learning more yourself from what really motivates you in that house. So I could see you even maybe with someone you're committed to in the eighth house. Since the eighth house isn't usually what we do alone, it is through other people that are close to us that we wind up in the eighth house. The second house, the opposite end of that axis, is more about what have we done for ourselves? What do we actually have as proof of the fruits of our labors? That's my second house. That's what I do. That's your south node this year. So that's what you're letting go. It's not that you just are working hard and buying a house and a car. It's no, it's the north node is in a conjunction with your sun this year. It's saying, where are we going? Who is with me? Who's like my soul person or people? And what do we have because of each other? What have we made together that transcends the material world? That we're spiritually connected. Is it through the birth of somebody this year, or is it through the passing of somebody before me that I'm really learning how connected and spiritually tied I am to those people who are closest to me? And what are they trying to tell me? Am I willing to follow in things that we have shared together, or my inherited qualities that maybe I received on my parents, my family line? There's this truth, there's this soul truth about something that you have been given through your connections with somebody close to you. This is a karmic house too. So a lot of times it speaks on the family members. Saturn is in conjunction with your sun too, possibly be a father figure that you're identifying with more this year. Like, hey, maybe he was hard on me, because usually the sun and the Saturn, they're both want to be the authority. So when they're in a conjunction with each other, sometimes there is the power, there's the feeling restricted by. So is there something that's coming up this year? Do we need to think about who who maybe was hard on us in life, but now you're seeing the benefits of that relationship in good or bad, the good and the bad. That is the actual truth, the actual sum of all that was, that has given you the ability to be who you are. Maybe you're finding now with the North Node next to the sun that all of those experiences actually pushed you to be who you are now. So there was no loss because without those energies, you would have never made it to be who you are. And now you're going somewhere towards the path that you need to be. Some of the most spiritually driven people came from a start that wasn't favorable. And it took those types of hardships to really make it into this spiritual questioning, diving into spirituality because reality was not favorable. Had it been, maybe they would have never been pushed to open up spiritual doors and pathways. All of those hardships then later in life become gifts. And we think, wow, my experience through all of that is actually what made me a spiritually wise and um, spiritually close, open minded person. I wouldn't have been able to even have any of these deep reflections and meditations if I hadn't been pushed to go that way by people who maybe didn't even realize what they were doing. So these are deep questions, right? Like that is the eighth house. This is Scorpio. This is psychological. We're maybe getting therapy this year. Maybe it's ending therapy, the beginning, the end, the deeper. We did maybe we thought we were over things. It's coming back around. We're also in eclipse season. The energy here right now, when you're having your solar return, is a very reflective period. We are in Mercury retrograde, Venus retrograde. We're in eclipse season. We're about to go to we're ending the 18-month cycle of the last Aries solar eclipse. So this is a lot of endings going on here too. You are right on the Pisces Aries energy. So maybe this is freshly going to be final endings on certain areas, closing out that last 18-month cycle of the Aries Libra eclipses. What were you like 18 months ago? What was going on? What is finally over? What are you ready to release? And how does that bring you spiritually closer to who you really are on your path? Because the North Node and the Sun together is saying you're going to grow and it might not be comfortable. So when it's not comfortable, that means it's working. Are you willing to keep going on that path? Are you willing to keep exploring those things that made you feel uncomfortable? Are you willing to let go the emotional pains of it so that you can really benefit from the spiritual wisdom that you've gained? I say that because your Scorpio moon, which I know you are natally a Scorpio moon as well. So there might be healing that needed to be done in life that this year, maybe you thought you were over things and you're realizing you're not. Or something else come back. The moon can be our memories, our emotional wounds, our feelings of um, nostalgic or not very warm and friendly, but the trauma that we endured. Now we're back in the Scorpio moon, and it's like it's heavy. It's a it's a heavy energy. It's an intensity. It's squaring Pluto. It's asking you in the home house, are we healing? Are we emotionally, are we understanding? Because Pluto's in the sixth house, and that could be like our body, our physical routines. So our body is really more the first house of self, but the sixth house is how we take care of that. It's our Virgo energy of what we are doing nutritionally and how our body is really taking care of. Are we healing our body? Or are we hurting our body? Pluto's saying, hey, I might physically be affected by my moods this year. So this is a good year to really get in the routines of how you take care of yourself. Because when there's emotional changes, you might really internalize that energy. You might physically become reactive to distress or emotions. And it doesn't even have to be that it makes any sense. It might not be about what's actually going on in your reality. It might be this just like wave of past emotional energy that gets stirred up, definitely around retrogrades. And we don't know what to do with it. But the sixth house being involved would be saying, hey, we've got to find a connection between our mind, our body, and our emotions. And we've got to make sure that we're not holding things in. Water is always asking us to let it go, let it flow, let it move through us, let us heal, and then let us heal others by healing ourselves. And you might find that your emotional state really transforms the way you want to treat your body. Maybe you're going to find out that there's a certain type of meditation or, like yoga, for instance, a lot of people do to emotionally connect the mind, body, and spirit, move through the poses and release uncomfortable feelings. You might find that you have some type of transformation in the way you take care of your diet, your health, your the vessel that you carry yourself in. You might want to be more nurturing to it. When Pluto and the moon are involved, there is something emotionally transformative about it. And with the sixth house being involved, it makes me feel like, do you realize that you really love this body that you're in and you want to take care of it and you want to nurture it? You want to be a support to yourself. The fixed energy that is controlling your chart this year really makes you a powerhouse of ability to reach any goals that you set for yourself. Do you really focus on your health? Do you take control? Pluto moved into Aquarius and it is the innovator and it's in your sixth house. Are you having fresh, new, maybe unorthodox ideas of things that you want to put into your daily living routines? Maybe it's a little different, or maybe it's a newer age ideas. Maybe you want to get into a practice that you never did before. And it just kind of came like a bolt of lightning inspiration to try it. Maybe it sticks. Maybe it's something that really works for your health and it makes you feel emotionally healed from things that you can't control. The fourth house with the moon in it sometimes also means changeability of the home. So if you told me you were moving or that you are changing up the way the home looks this year, or the Pluto sixth house could also mean job. Are you moving somewhere because of a job? These could be this could be a fresh start for the home front, new place, new energy, feeling more emotionally connected to your surroundings. If you get a chance to move near the water, if you're able to make a good experience of maybe uncertainties with moves. But with this connection here with the Pluto in the squaring the moon, it makes me feel like maybe something that is moving was out of your control. Um, but there's opportunity. Every square is uncomfortable, but with your sun conjunct the North Node and all of this concentrated energy on spiritual growth, I think it's saying it's an opportunity for emotional healing, transformation of how you live every day. Maybe it's the fresh start you need to really implement new routines and new health strategies. If you're not physically moving, maybe it's saying that you need to redecorate, you need to get get yourself feeling like you're really at home in yourself and that your potential to feel emotionally more stable and secure can really come from finding these new habits or new ways you want to do things every day, really trying to stick to things. It's not a the home front might actually change. You might physically move, but the routines that you develop or that you've been working on or that you want to start they have the potential that to transform and really stick. Like the control that you have to make something start could be there. It might not feel great at first because sometimes the Pluto energy has to knock everything down to build it up again. When you come back, this is it. This is the right one. I could feel like your whole routine. It could be a job change. When it's tied to the moon, it makes me think the home change or really nurturing your body type of change. But still an opportunity. The red, the square sometimes looks like, oh no. But really, I like squares. They make me feel like, okay, if it's easy, if I'm too comfortable, I'm not going to do anything. I need something to be, I need something to move for me so that I can realize that I need to do something different and then actually do it. And then you're like, oh wow, thank goodness. 'Cause I was just going to let that go forever. So this is a year where you're not letting things go. You're really going for it. And you're, there's work involved, but it's opportunities to really grow into who you really are. So let's see what else. The Mercury, what are we thinking about? How are we communicating with other people? This has moved into Aries, and the Aries Mercury is comfortable for you. It's really the only thing that's moved about your Mercury is that now it's in the ninth house. And so it's funny because an Aries Mercury person is kind of known for just speaking their mind. Um, and for you, I think it's going to be even more this year because you used to be in your 11th house, but now it's in the ninth house. Now it's in a fire house. So you got fire on fire. You're ready, and you got a Leo rising this year. So I feel like whatever your message is, you're not waiting. There's no pause button. You're going, you're doing, you're working, you're saying. And then it's also next to, in conjunction to, I'll count that because it's 4 degrees here, to the Aries Venus. So it's just this really like palpable, forward, passionate energy you have this year. And I love that it's in the ninth house because it just makes me feel like you have some message to give. You're conquering old wounds, maybe related to religious beliefs or publicly sharing your message with Chiron involved. But there's healing to be done in the bravery it takes to get out there and really publicly share your experiences. And I just hope that means that you're really following this fire, because in your natal chart, you're not really overwhelmed with this fire energy like you are this year. You're natally the air rising, the water, sun, and moon. And, your natal Aquarius Venus is is very humanitarian focused. And I think that goes well with the Pisces sun. But this year, the Pisces sun is going the other way. It wants new excitement. It doesn't really want to fix the old things. It wants to go forward into new areas, reach more people, take on, trailblazing ideas and paths that you haven't done before. This is newness. This is going into unknown territory. And I just think that's very exciting for you. I hope that you feel that, and I hope that you really take advantage of that because you have the potential here to go to new places, meet new people, start new conversations, maybe fall in love with something new or someone new if that's something you are interested in doing. And really finding that you're healing past pains through this new impulse to get out there and start fresh, like a fresh beginning chapter to your story this year. Lastly, I just wanted to point out that your part of fortune natally is in the ninth house, and you have this energy in the ninth house. So I just don't think it's coincidence. I think you're more successful and feel more fulfilled in life when you're really speaking what's on your mind this year and taking chances and going to new places and willing to meet new people and really put yourself out there. Aries and Pisces energies can be a different because Pisces is very considerate and compassionate and really willing to put other people first. That's just their nature. But when you tap into putting yourself first this year and doing things like just following your wildest dreams, you really feel like you're on the right path to who you're supposed to be, but you also get these great opportunities to feel really fulfilled and have a lot of success. So I hope that is something that resonates with you. 10th house, I just wanted to speak on real quick, is Uranus is in your 10th house. So maybe some changes in career could be due to, with that Pluto in the 6th house. Maybe there's the moving for the job, or maybe there's this unexpected shift in what your role is at the job. Maybe you just have this idea change of what you want to do for your career with the 8th and the 9th house energy. Maybe it's just not that you're focused so much on the actual like climbing the ladder of the career and you're more just focused on your spiritual growth. And then that just happens to change up career opportunities. Uranus is an outer planet. We don't have, it's not really our personality. It's not really us doing things to make changes. It is the universe giving us a shakeup. So, what is your career or your reputation shakeup going to be this year? In the sign of Taurus, it might be something that helps you become more grounded in yourself. Um, and it is trining the South Node. So maybe it is feelings of being comfortable with the unknown, with the chaotic shakeups that Uranus likes to do. But it's saying that there's nothing that you can't handle. You already have a lot of gifts. Your South Node is your strength already. So you're gonna be blessed by the shakeups on the career front. And then Jupiter in the 11th house expands whatever it touches. 11th house groups, organizations, friendships. Are you finding your right people who have similar ideas? Are you interested in many different types of people? Are you going to take all of this 8th and 9th house energy and wind up creating your own social group or your own type of following? Just feel you like you're starting something, you're getting deeper on something. All of this spiritual knowledge and power and truth that you're seeking is going to come out into the public world, be it by new groups that you identify with, published workings, spiritual retreats, new loves, connecting to past people, like finding gratitude and closure with that is what I mean by that. And maybe moving. And now that I say that again, I think in the message you sent me, you said something about moving somewhere. So I think that is that. But also make sure you're taking care of your physical body during any transitions and moves. Your emotional state is connected to your body and your health this year. So make sure you're paying attention to that. But I see new exciting possibilities. Your world is getting bigger this year. And I think at some points, Mars is in the 12th house in Cancer. That can come out into emotional outbursts because there's just a lot going on. I don't think you're used to all this fire energy. So you might find that sometimes you just have explosive feelings that you're not sure where it came from. Sometimes the Mars 12th house person is the volcano. In Cancer, that can translate to crying a little bit more, feeling more emotionally charged altogether. But use that for strength. Yeah, you're more raw, you're more real this year. Your Scorpio moon is used to that anyway. It tries to stuff it down, but you might have a harder time, and that's actually a blessing because Scorpio moon means to let it out. I think this is a very powerful year for you, and I hope you really seize the day. I think that's the quote for you. Every day is a chance to do something new and really let people see who you are and really help influence other people who maybe could really use hearing what you have to say or see your gifts. Okay, I'll stop here. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks again.